Hello, my name is Stacey Blackward. Thank you for joining us at the FT Expression Show. Today we have a special guest going to be in, and we're going to talk about domestic violence. Welcome, Ms. Harris.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Tell us about your company that you're running.
It's a New Day. It's a nonprofit, faith-based organization that helps women and children, and we're trying to incorporate men now as well that have been affected by domestic violence who are in transition. We help them with maybe food, help them with assistance with their rent. We have support group meetings. We help them to get connected to other resources that they might need, help to try to find a place to live. We help them try to find emergency shelter, whatever it is when they're in transition during the course of the domestic violence.
I want to ask you some questions about domestic violence. I just recently read a book by T.L. Thomas, and some of the things I read, I was amazed and I was astonished. But I also read your story, and I know you for a while, and I didn't even know you was going through that. If you don't mind, can you tell your story?
Sure.
So,
I was married at a young age, dated the young man approximately 4 or 5 years before we got married. But the abuse usually started by controlling, like how to wear your hair, like where you're going. You know, when you're young, you think that's, oh, he's just caring about me or whatever have you.
yes.
But then you don't realize that's the controlling aspect, you know.
Okay.
Back then, you had pagers and stuff, so you was
Yes.
always paging you instead of cell phones nowadays. But that's how it started, with the controlling aspect. And then it starts from there is when I said something, it would be a reaction to it. It would be a slap here or a hit there, and I dealt with that for about almost 12 years. We were married for 7, but we were in a relationship for 12 years. It had gotten to the point that I had a black eye before, had to go to work like that, had to endure my young kids at that time, ages 5 and not even 1, had to see their dad, punching holes in the walls or yelling about something that was minute. And so it's not only physical, but it's also emotional. It's word calling and telling you when you can go, asking you who's calling you and who's coming over and why they're coming over. It's just the whole aspect. Domestic violence can be emotional, financial, physical. It's the whole realm. It's not just the bruises that you see or the bruises you don't see. Most of the time, women and men are affected by domestic violence in their home, and they don't even know it. Even if you're thinking you're joking, you're playing, you call somebody out of their name, your wife or your husband out of their name, that's a form of abuse. Or if you're withholding money, or you're allowing your wife or your husband a certain amount of money each week to go to your grocery store, that's being controlling over finances. You want somebody who can budget, but you don't want somebody to be overbearing. And so that's what I dealt with 12 years in a relationship with the previous husband.
wow. I have to say that almost everybody have gone through some of that experience or have dealt it out.
Yes.
So, because even I'm gonna have to say myself, I dated somebody and I paged him. I wouldn't know where he at 24 hours a day when you're young. No, he didn't. Wait a minute, hold on, where he been?
Right.
But I didn't think I was being an abuser. Or when he would speak to me, or he say something, or we ride in the car and he turn around and look at that girl and I'm gonna pop him side the head.
Right.
I didn't realize that's being abusive.
Yeah.
But when do we look at that to say that, hey, this is not the right behavior to have?
I think society has dumbed it down. I think they don't take the signs seriously. When someone is angry, you should not say or react in that manner at that time. We all need a cooling period. I'm not saying we're all going to be angry at one point, but we all need to take a step back and calm ourselves down before you react to that situation. Because it might be a light thing to you, but that person's feelings might have got hurt because you popped them beside the head for looking at the girl. We have to learn how to express with words and with the love of Christ. And that's again with us being faith-based. That's what we try to teach people, to love each other with the love of Christ. Jesus wouldn't come and say, "Look, I'm gonna hit you beside the head." No, he's gentle and kind, and so that's what we have to do in our relationships. And so I think as a community, as a whole, as a society as a whole, we have to look at this seriously. When there's a family dispute, and no one calls the police. Somebody has to take charge. Somebody has to be that mediator to remove that person that has the anger issues out of the home. As you look on the news every day, you see total families being wiped out because someone can't deal with life issues. It could be a losing of a job. It could be loss of a job. It could be, anything, financial hardships. Anything can trigger that anger to the point where you think you can't cope until you want to take it out on someone else. And we as a society have to say, no, this is enough.
Now, is it true that most abuser only abuse the one they love or someone in close in family? They will not take it out on a person in the street?
Yes. Most of the time, it's someone. It can be adult abuse. What I mean, like it be a reversal. Let's say if a woman's been abused by her husband all her life, when it's time for her to be the caregiver and he can't do anything, it will reverse. She'll start abusing him. Maybe like withholding showers or food. All of that's a form of abuse. It could be where a child is hitting on a mom because whatever issues they feel like the mom was responsible for the dad leaving, or abuse is abuse. You have family abuse, child abuse, all of it's abuse. And so that's what we hear. It's a new day, is to get it out to the community that any kind of abuse is not right.
Now, I understand you saying any kind of abuse, but when do you don't take it to the next level to calling the cops? When do you say, well, we could work this out, or when it's time to say, no, we no longer can work this out? Because, like you say, simple as this hit on the side of the head, or the child saying, your husband laying you out because you mispaid a bill, or you just mad and you just verbal abuse and call them all kinds of names, because like you said, all that too. But when do you say, okay, this is time, it's time to go?
That's up to individual. I mean, it took me 12 years in a relationship. Some people might take that one hit. It's up to that individual when you know what you can take. And then you have to know your self-worth. At that time, I didn't know my self-worth. And that goes for men and women. If you know that you're worthy more than that, then it's time for you to walk away. I'm sure every marriage is going to have ups and downs. Every marriage is going to have an argument. But when you come to the point that every time we are upset, we're going to name call, there has to be some kind of intervention. And you have to learn as a relationship, we can sit down, we can talk about it. If I say right now, I can't talk about this right now, can we just, cool off a minute? Then that's what you have to do. Remove yourself from the situation. But if the person's continually to keep coming at you, and it's a continuous thing over the years, then it's time to go. But it's an individual thing. And I can't tell you, there's no time period of saying when is to quit. And I'm all for marriage, but I'm not for unhealthy marriages or unhealthy relationships.
Yes, no, I agree with you. Now, I want to say, how do you say this? A lot of people's faith-based. But in church, there's a lot more people being abused.
It is.
And they don't want people to know
right
what they're going through. They just, keep praising and say, thank you, Lord, for making the next day. It could be that call they get, they might not make it. What do you tell that person that's in church, that is surrounded, but too scared to speak out and ask for help? Too scared for people to look at them a different way because where they at. That's hard. It's so hard when you already establish yourself in this, but you don't want people,
No, we have to get out of the mindset of worrying about what people think of us. It's time out for foolishness. It's time out for you to speak out. Even if you tell the person next to you, or you can find someone in the ministries, someone will be able to guide you to the right connections. But you have to get out of your mind. Basically get out of your mind and say, okay, I've had enough. There's no shame. Jesus says there's no shame in me. There's no condemnation in me. When is it you're gonna? Because everybody is dependent on you. Somebody is always dependent on you. Your testimony, which you've come through, somebody else is waiting for you. So if you don't say anything, how can you help set someone else free? So you have to speak out.
Yes.
You have to speak out.
Yes. Now, I want you to tell everybody that's joining us, that's there, that have not made that step and ready to make that step.
If you're sincerely ready to make that step, there are domestic violence hotlines here in Virginia. There's your local police department. There's your friend. make a safety plan. Let your family know what's going on. Have extra copies of your birth certificates. Have things in place, an extra bag of clothes somewhere. Have an extra key to your car somewhere. Give it to your friend. Have a code word for your friend that calls and says, I'm worried about you and you might not be able to talk. Maybe say, today it's supposed to rain. Something key that person will pick up that you're in danger. Because only you know when you have had enough. Only you know when you're not safe any longer. So make that safety plan. Get those provisions made and call out and someone will be there.
And the next one, I want to talk to the people that we take it as a joke. That we think it's funny. Oh, it's cute when he hit me because he know he loves me. I want them to realize. Let's bring some awareness for them to think some cues, like you said, the first time. Because sometimes when you get hit the first time, you so amazed you don't think it happened. You're like, what did he just do? Did he hit me? Or what did she just do?
Right.
She didn't hit me. She was just playing.
Right.
I took it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it too serious. Because sometimes we do just brush it off.
Right.
Because, we don't, sometimes we just don't take things serious. Or you see it on TV all the time. The Tyler Perry movies, with a husband hit. Or,
right.
It's a normal thing out here to see somebody,
well, it's not normal. And love tap and a hit. Okay? And so when when it comes to the point where that person can't control it or the anger comes across their face, then they're serious. And so we, as women and men in relationships, just keep your hands to yourself. Just keep your hands, simple as that. And if you feel like you can't control it, keep your hands to yourself, then it's time for you to walk away from that relationship. It's not a joke. If you know you can't control what you say out of your mouth to that person without calling them by their name, then you need to leave. You need to get help. Not that other person. You need to get help. And then once you felt like you've gotten the help that you need, then you can go back into that relationship. And then you have guidelines, and you have rules, and you have counseling. Because every situation may not end up in divorce. I've known people who have reconciled, into a better relationship. But you have to get the help first. You have to want the help first. And you have to know, okay, this is not something I can control by myself.
Okay. And what about the ones that feel that he wasn't like this at first? When he drinks, that's the only time.
Again, he
on drugs.
Yeah. Again, when drugs and alcohol plays a play in it, that person's behavior change when those come in factor. Those are definitely relationships that you definitely need to run away, not walk away. Run away until that person gets help. Because you can't help someone who's not ready to be helped. Women, and I say women because most women think that they can change a man. Or I'm going to marry him and he's not going to be this way. You can't change anybody who doesn't want to be changed. And especially if they're on drugs and alcohol, they need professional help. They're not going to change until they get that professional help. So if you're in that situation, again, you need to have a safety plan and you need to learn to walk away. Maybe just a separation until that person goes through AAA or whatever, substance abuse counseling, whatever it is to take them to be whole again.
Okay. Now I'm gonna give some examples.
Okay.
And I want an example is a husband came home late, or boyfriend, and the woman fussing, and he's like, I don't want to hear it. You go. He started walking up the stairs, and the woman pulled his hair. And he turned around and slapped him. Now, is that really classified as abuse or him defending himself?
In his case, it would be defending himself. But he has to prove that to the authorities if they come. The authorities usually 9 out of 10 will arrest the man unless they really know the woman was the aggressor. Okay. But in the state, I know in different counties, they have to remove someone from the premises. If the police are called, someone has to leave the premises. So that's just the way
So they would take us women now?
Yes. If they feel that you're an aggressor, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I just thought the men will always have to leave?
Yes. No.
Okay.
So, let's say, I don't know if she had like a handprint on her face. We don't know all the evidence.
Right.
So, but if they saw that, they probably would have thought he was the abuser if her hand mark was on her face. Because how can you prove that someone pulled your hair?
So then as women, we need to watch what we do
yes.
still.
Yes.
It's not our fault if we get abused.
Right.
But then in the same token, you don't need to start it.
Right.
you know,
Right.
give him a reason to hit because we
Right.
put our hands
Well,
on him first.
there's no reason. I'm not gonna say there's no. You can do any. You can't do anything. There's nothing you can do to make someone hit you. Okay, not by your words. They have to be stronger than that. But we, as women, as wives and girlfriends, have to learn not to provoke. And even with our children, sometimes our words provoke people to get to a certain level. So we again have to learn how to tame our tongue. And there's a time to say, it's a tone how you can say it and how not to say it. Because you know what triggers your partners. You know. So again, we have to be mindful that we don't want to be that provoker.
I love that. I love that. Know how to tame your tongue.
Tame your tongue.
Tame your tongue.
And I'm preaching to myself because sometimes, you know, you're like, okay, but check yourself. Would I want to be talked to like that?
Yes.
You treat others the way you want to be treated.
All right. I love that. I love that because, like you said, we really can, when they do something that we don't like,
Right.
we can start striking back and want to fuss and nag
Right.
and keep on following.
Right.
We don't care. They say, "Give me a minute."
Right.
We don't know that space. No,
Right.
you had your minute when
Right.
you was out there.
Right.
You here now. You
Right.
here giving me my
Right.
time.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I understand that. So, like I said, we women also could start and provoke them and know it, and we just need to stop. But that man, or female, just hitting you, just because anybody just get you upset
Right.
and bring it home with you,
Right.
that is right there,
Right.
totally strictly abuse.
Yes.
There's no difference.
Right.
It's right there.
Yes.
It's the wrong way to do.
It is.
You know. I wanna. Okay, so I gave you that example, and I also asked you about a person about on alcohol or drugs, and they sitting down and drinking, and well, the woman know he gets upset quicker when he's drinking. Should she just not say nothing to him?
Yeah. Just that's if you're gonna stay in that relationship and that marriage. Yeah. You just need to keep your distance. And now if he starts to follow you and agitate you and provoke you, then you need to remove yourself from the household. So yeah, you have to wisdom. Use wisdom.
Wisdom comes slowly, though.
It does.
Sometimes,
It does.
You know,
It
sometimes
does.
like when you're young, like you said,
Yeah.
we don't realize some things we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we think we know.
Right, and that's what we need to educate the young people, even down to elementary schools and middle school. You know, when you starting to date, you know, again, be careful on how you choose your person you ask on a date. You know, look at their family background, their history, and their household. You know, let your parents meet their parents and talk to them and see, because everybody's not from a healthy home. You know, not saying that person will turn out the way, but we mimic our parents, or we mimic what we see as a child, on how you respond or react to different things. And so we definitely need to teach the younger ones. You know, speak with your words and speak kind words, and not with your hands.
Oh, that's good. Now I want to go more details on the plan for somebody who's doing
Okay.
it though. Now first you says have copies of your birth certificate or passports or stuff like that, and find a secure place to put it in.
Right.
Clothes too.
Clothes too. Extra key to your house. Extra key to your car. Have a place where you can go where the other spouse doesn't know where you're at. If you need to leave in a hurry, go to a place that they don't know where you are.
Okay.
Okay? And then you tell someone in your family that you can trust. This is where I'll be. You know, please don't tell them where I am. Be smart again, not answering your phone when you don't know the number, or if you see the person's number on your phone.
Should a person leave their job?
I would get a protective order. You have to have a protective order for your child's school, so the other parent can't come. Have a protective order to your job, because when you're at your job, that's their responsibility to keep you safe in their job, and that gives the authorities more power. If your spouse was to come to your job and start something, where they can arrest them immediately because they have that protective order. I know most people say protective orders are just a piece of paper, but that gives the authorities more power. You know, in case that person is after you.
Okay.
Again, so that's what I would do. That have that safety plan in effect. You know, have a secret code word or something for your friends to know that, you know, hey, I need you to call the police. You know, it could be anything that you and that particular person knows. You know, the family members also be aware and notice how they interact with each other. You know, if there's a dispute or an argument, again, step in as far as saying, well, maybe, you know, you all need some time away from each other, or you want to let's go to the mall. Take time to visit that person unannounced.
Okay.
Because you want them to know that someone's there for them. And that's what helped me a lot. A lot of my friends and family would just come to the house unannounced, or they will call just to see how I was doing. And if you don't hear from that person, then you call the authorities, or you go by there and just say, hey, I was just checking to see if everything's okay. And make the emphasis to the authorities, hey, I feel like something's not right. This is what's been going on in this relationship. Hold them accountable to check on that family member.
Okay. And they should start planning. They don't have to do it all in one time.
No.
Take,
Yes.
as they seeing themselves,
Yes.
they think they're ready to leave.
Yes.
They should take time and do a little bit each
Yes.
week, so stuff won't
Yes.
look missing or
Right.
get suspicious.
Right. And say have a bank account that doesn't come in your name, but that statement doesn't come to your house. Have it sent to your mom's house or your sister's house. Or something. Start saving cash. Because you never know. You might have to go into a program where that program puts you in the witness program where they can whisk you away once you call the authorities and have your identity changed. I mean, that happens.
Okay.
Women do that all the time.
All right. And they should get one of them phones that pay about a minute.
Yep, you
and
can
so
do that as well.
Because nowadays the phone has GPS.
Track you. That's right. So ditch that phone. That's right. And get your prepaid phone. Yes.
Okay. Because like I said, they got so much technology today.
Yes.
It's almost easy for somebody to find you if they want you.
Yes, definitely. Technology is a good thing and a bad thing. You think about it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was looking at that. Now, after a person make that step, they've gone through a lot emotionally. Mm-hmm. Do they have to tell you their story to get help? Yes.
We are free by the word of our testimony. How can you, because you've had all this emotions bottled up in you for so long, the more you share, the more freer you are. And again, like I said, someone's counting on you. You might not think they are, but they're counting on you. And you're going to, each time you tell it, you're going to get stronger, and you're going to remember more, and then you're going to finally just be free from it. And you won't have that shame, because there's no shame in being abused. It's not your fault. So yes, we have to be able, and get counseling, some kind of counseling. If it's just a support group meeting here, there. Or if you want one-on-one counseling with a psychologist, you can do that. But the whole family will need some kind of counseling if you have children too. Because children remember, as young as, like I said, my youngest daughter was not even 2 years old. And it affected her even in the womb. Because I was going through that the whole time, I was pregnant with her. So everybody needs the counseling. They need something. They need an outlet. If it's going to your local pastor or minister and seeking that, and then get your life right with Jesus,
All right. Now, I heard y'all gonna walk.
Yes, we have a walk October the 4th at Bird Park. We're partnering up with Sergeant Carol Adams, the Carol Adams Foundation. She's a sergeant at Richmond Police Department. She has a story to tell as well. And so we do this walk every year, the first Saturday of October. We're asking anyone to come out. It's usually from 9 to 1, 9 to 2. We're asking to bring your old used cell phones that we donate to Verizon. It's going to have resource tables out there. The walk is only a mile, so that's not that long. Yes. So we definitely, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So there'll be things going on around the city to bring awareness to domestic violence.
That's good. So anybody can get a pamphlet, find out information. They want to come out and get help.
Yes.
And talk to somebody. That's a day.
They can do it too. And also call us at Domestic Violence Hotline. They're sending you information. The Domestic Violence Action Sexual Alliance also has information for you. Our website, it'sanewday.org, has information, and it's spelled ITZ instead of ITS. Okay. Has information. And you can just Google domestic violence and information will pop up.
Now, domestic violence just don't happen to women.
Right.
It happens to men also.
Right.
And also, for what I understand, for same-sex partners and transvestite as well. Yes. Can they all call the
anyone?
Same
anyone can call. If you're a man or whatever have you, they will direct you to the resource you need as a for man. But yes, anyone can call.
Because it's no color.
It's no color, no race, gender, nothing.
Because domestic violence is
domestic violence.
All across.
Yes. We just hear more about it when it's man versus women instead of vice versa, men against women against men. So yeah.
Right. I agree with that. I hear it's both stories out there
Right.
now.
Yes, it is.
You
Because
know,
men are
it's
starting to come out now. Men used to be like, I ain't telling nobody no woman hit me or beat me up.
Mhm.
But it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So,
And they shouldn't have no shame either.
no shame at all.
No shame
shame.
at all. Because it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. No.
And even though they're stronger,
Yes.
sometimes.
So we think they are. Men have emotions and feelings too.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They do. They do.
Yeah,
They do.
Okay. I want to make sure I hit all the boards. Did I leave anything?
I don't think so. Again, I said the main thing is just telling your story, getting help, not being ashamed, and learn, like I said, to use your kind words and to tame your tongue. And if you're the aggressor in the relationship, get help. Get help for yourself. Not for the other person, but get help for yourself first.
Okay. Walk is October.
October the 4th, the first Saturday in October at Bird Park, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
around the fountain, a mile.
I'm out.
Yes.
I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Great.
be there, and I'm gonna
Great.
start supporting
Great.
domestic violence. Help spread this word.
Yes, spread
out
the
there.
word.
So we know you don't have to sit in that closet or sit in the corner by yourself and
Yes.
feel like I got to stay in the closet because people cannot
Right.
know
Right.
what I'm
Right,
doing.
right. The face of a domestic violence can be white, black, Indian,
Yeah.
Latino. There's no face.
There's no face.
Yes, it's
And you ain't
no
gonna hide it.
right, and there's no financial barriers as far as economic barriers. You're poor and I'm rich or whatever. Domestic violence happens evenly across the board, and I think that's a myth that people believe that only poor. No, not at all.
No, I actually didn't. Because you hear it happening with the stars as well. 'Cause
Right.
they more coming out too.
Yes.
And that seeing that what's going on with them, but then later on, they go back sometimes.
Right. That's as far as the people with like the stars or whatever, I think they have a more persona or
Okay.
to look to keep up with. As far as us normal people day by day, yeah, we don't want everybody to know our business,
Right.
but again,
Speaking out.
speaking out. Speaking out.
Speaking out. Speaking out. I want to thank you.
Thank you for having me. I hope this has helped the community that we live in.
Yes. I want to thank you too for joining me. If you've seen this show and you know somebody, you think somebody in domestic violence and in the position, please reach out and let them know. Miss Harris' website will be attached to FT Expression. For more information, you can go there. But I want you, everybody, not just men, women, everyone, to think about it before you raise your hand. Before you say the wrong words out or call a name or curse at someone. Just think about it. Is this the way it should be? Protect yourself, but also think about your actions, what you do to others. We have children that see this, that have been affected. You have mothers who lost their children because they've been affected, and fathers. Domestic violence is more serious than we realize, and it happens every day. Someone lose a sister, a brother, their husband. We just don't know, their wife. You should not have to be afraid to speak out. So please check the website. And if you know someone, please give them a helping hand. Even if you just call for them and give them the number where to go. And if you have that cellular phone, old cell phone, please remember, October the 4th, you can find somewhere to get these phones and they will help the people with domestic violence. Thank you.